What's up guys? So for this video, I'm going to discuss about Max Weber. So first is the biography of Max Weber. Max Weber was born in Erfurt, Prussia on April 21, 1864. Weber was the eldest son of Max Weber Sr. and Helen Fallenstein Weber. His father was an aspiring liberal politician who joined the more compliant and moved the family from Erfurt to Berlin, where he became a member of the Prussian House of Deputies. The elder Weber established himself as a fixture of the Berlin social milieu and entertained prominent politicians and scholars in the Weber household. The sociologist's mother was raised in a Calvinist orthodoxy. Though she gradually accepted a more tolerant theology, her Puritan morality never diminished. As a result, her husband's social activities distanced her from him, especially when he experienced her prolonged grief following the deaths of two of their children. He, in turn, adopted a traditionally authoritarian manner at home and demanded absolute obedience from wife and children. It is thought that this bleak home environment, marked by conflicts between Weber's parents, contribute to the inner goodness that hawk Weber in his adult life. Weber left home to enroll at the University of Heidelberg in 1882, interrupting his studies after 2 years to fulfill his year of military service at Strasbourg. During this time, he became very close to the family of his mother's sister and to her husband, who had a profound influence on Weber's intellectual development. After his release from the military, however, Weber was asked by his father to finish his studies at the University of Berlin so that he could live at home while pursuing scholarship in legal and economic history. This was perhaps because of his father considered the Baumgarten's influence subversive. In 1893, Weber married Marianne. From 1884 until his marriage in 1893, Weber left the family home only for one semester of study at Göttingen in 1885 and for some brief periods with his military reserve unit. In 1894, Weber was appointed a professor of economics at the University of Freiburg and then was granted the same position at the University of Heidelberg in 1896. His research at the time focused mainly on economics and legal history. After Weber's father died in 1897, 2 months after a severe quarrel that was never resolved, Weber became prone to depression, nervousness, and insomnia, making it difficult for him to fulfill his duties as a professor. He was thus forced to reduce his teaching and eventually left in the fall of 1899. For 5 years, he was intermittently institutionalized, suffering sudden relapses after efforts to break such cycles by traveling. He finally resigned his professorship in late 1903. Max Weber died in 1920 during the effects of pneumonia. He is considered to be the father of modern sociology along with Karl Marx and Emil Durkheim. So here are some famous work of Max Weber. First is the Archive Social Wissenschaft and Sozialpolitik, or in English, Archives for Social Science and Social Welfare. It is an academic journal for the social science in Germany between 1888 and 1933. Its first editors were Edgar Jaffe, Werner Sombart, and Max Weber. The second one is the Protestant ethic. So I will discuss this right after these slides. So number 3 is the economy and society. In 1909, Weber took over the editorship of a project multi-volume encyclopedic work on the social science entitled Outline of Social Economics. It was to contain volumes authored by prominent social scientists of the time. Although he was originally to contribute the volume of Economy and Society to this effort, difficulties in obtaining complete manuscript from some participants led Weber to expand his contribution into what became a prodigious attempt at the construction of a systematic sociology in world historical and comparative depth, one which was to occupy a large portion of his time and energies during the remainder of his life. He published his first contributions in 1911 up to 1913, others still unfinished sections being published after his death. Economy and society differ in tone and emphasize Weber from his comparative studies of the cultural foundations of Chinese, Indian, and Western civilizations. This massive work was an attempt at more systematic sociology, not directed toward any single comparative historical problem, but rather toward an organization of the major areas of sociological inquiry into a single whole. Weber never believed it possible to write a truly systematic sociology that would have separate analytical sections on each area of interest and that would form a general system of theory. Containing large sections on sociological analysis, the economy and social norms, economy and law, domination and legitimacy, and still unsurpassed sections on religion, the city and political rulership, economy and society, remains today perhaps the only systematic sociology in world historical and comparative depth. The fourth one is essay in sociology. Another implication of Weber's argument for value-free sociology is that the new discipline reflects an ongoing historical process that he called rationalization, in which social life becomes methodically organized based on the use of reason observation. Weber saw that this process permeates every sphere of modern life: education, work, law, economy, and family. The sciences, of course, including sociology, are the archetypal methodical disciplines. They provide new ways of understanding and controlling our environment, natural and social, opening up these new possibilities. And the last one is the vocation lectures, science as a vocation or politics as a vocation. In his essay, Science as a Vocation, he mused about the disenchantment of the world that characterized modern societies. This evocative praise suggests that humans have passed from an enchanted world of mystery and spirituality into one that is colder, more heartless, perhaps bereft of moral guidance. In a rationalized world, Weber lament. There are no longer simple answers to the fundamental questions of human existence. So, here are some theories of Max Weber. First is the Weberian stratification. Weber argued that power can take a variety of forms. A person's power can be shown in the social order through their status, in the economic order through their class, and in the political order through their party. Thus, class, status, and party are each of the aspects of the distribution of power within a community. So, power means a person's ability to get their way despite the resistance of others. Class, a person, economic position in society. Status, a person, prestige, social honor, or popularity in society. So according to Weber, there are two basic dimensions of power: the possession of power and the exercising of power. So first is the possession of power. According to Weber, the ability to possess power derives from the individual's ability to control various or social resources. The mode of distribution gives to the propertile a monopoly on the possibility of transferring property from the sphere of use as wealth to the sphere of capital. That is, it gives them the entrepreneurial function and all chances to share directly or indirectly in returns on capital. This resource can be anything and everything. They might be include land, capital, social respect, physical strength, and intellectual knowledge. The, sex- the second one is exercising of power. The ability to exercise power takes a number of different forms, but all involve the idea that it means the ability to get your own way with others, regardless of their ability to resist you. For example, if we think about an individual's chances of realizing their own will against someone else, it is reasonable to believe that the person's social prestige, class position, and membership in a political group will have an effect on this chance. In terms of understanding the relationship between power and social stratification, Weber theorized the various ways in which societies are organized in hierarchical systems of domination and subordination using the several major concepts. The second theory of Max Weber is the Protestant ethics and the spirit of capitalism. Weber argued that a set of religious ideas were responsible for the emergence of capitalism in Northern Europe in the 16th to 17th century. Protestantism offers the concept of the worldly calling and gives the worldly activities and a religious character. Weber was more focused on a particular branch of the Protestantism called Calvinism. Calvinists believe in predestination, that God has already determined who is saved and damned. As Calvinism developed, a deep psychological need for those about whether one was actually saved arose, and Calvinists looked to their success in worldly activities for those clues. Thus, they came to value profit and material success as signs of God's favor. Weber's famous book set out to understand Western civilization and the development of capitalism. According to Weber, societies influenced by Protestant religion encourage both accumulating material wealth and living a relatively frugal lifestyle. Because of this accumulation of wealth, individuals began to invest money, which paved the way for the development of capitalism. In this book, Weber also put forward the idea of the iron cage, a theory about why social and economic structures are often resistant to change. The Protestant ethic and the spirit of capitalism is a discussion of Weber's various religious ideas and economics. Weber argues that Puritan ethics and ideas influenced the development of capitalism. While Weber was influenced by Karl Marx, he was not a Marxist and even criticized aspects of Marxist theory in this book. Weber begins the Protestant ethic with a question: what about Western civilization has made it the only civilization to develop certain cultural phenomena to which we like to attribute universal value and significance? According to Weber, only in the West does valid science exist. Weber claims that empirical knowledge and observation that exists elsewhere lacks the rational, systematic, and specialized methodology that is present in the West. Weber argues that the same is true of capitalism. It exists in a sophisticated manner that has never before existed anywhere else in the world. When capitalism is defined as the pursuit of forever renewable profit, capitalism can be said to be part of every civilization at any time in history. But it is in the West. Weber claims that it has developed to an extraordinary degree. Weber sets out to understand what it is about the West that has made it so. So, in this theory, Weber's conclusion is a unique one. Found that under the influence of Protestant religions, especially Puritanism, individuals were religiously compelled to follow a secular vocation with as much enthusiasm as possible. In other hand, in other words, rather, hard work and finding success in one's occupation were highly valued in societies influenced by Protestantism. A person living according to the worldview was therefore more likely to accumulate money. And Weber's theories have been controversial, and other writers have questioned his conclusions. Nevertheless, the Protestant Ethics and the Spirit of Capitalism remains an incredibly influential book, and it has introduced ideas that influence later scholars. One specially influential idea that Weber articulated in the Protestant ethic was the concept of the iron cage. This theory suggests that an economic system can become restrictive force that can prevent change and perpetuate its own failings because people are socialized within a particular economic system. Weber claims they may unable to imagine a different system. Since Weber's time, this theory has been quite influential, especially in the Frankfurt School of Critical Theory. The last one is the bureaucratic theory. Bureaucracy is an organizational Bureaucracy is an organizational structure that is characterized by many rules, standardized processes, procedures, and requirements, number of desks, meticulous division of labor and responsibility, clear hierarchies, and professional, almost impersonal hierarchies between employees. Weber believed that bureaucracy was the most efficient way to set up an organization and administration. Max Weber believed that bureaucracy was a better than traditional structures. In a bureaucratic organization, everyone is treated equal and the division of labor is clearly described for each employee. According to the bureaucratic theory of Max Weber, such a structure was indispensable in a large organizations in structurally performing all tasks by a great number of employees. In addition, in a bureaucratic organization, selection and promotion only occur on this basis of technical qualifications. So, bureaucratic theory and responsibility. According to bureaucratic theory of Max Weber, three types of power can be found in organizations. First is the traditional power, second one is charismatic power, and the last one is legal power. He refers in his bureaucratic theory to the letter as a bureaucracy. All aspects of a democracy are organized on the basis of rules and laws, making the principle of established jurisdiction prevail. Max Weber lists six major principles of the bureaucracy. Number one is the formal hierarchical structure. In a bureaucratic organization, each level controls the level below it. Also, the level above it controls it. A formal hierarchy is the basis of central planning and centralized decision making. The second one is the rules-based management. The organization uses rules to exert control. Therefore, the lower levels seamlessly execute the decisions made at the higher levels. The third one is the functional specialty organization. Specialists do the work. Also, the organization divides employees into units based on the type of work they do or the skills they possess. The fourth one is up focus or in focus mission. If the mission of the organization is to serve the stockholders, board, or any other agency that empowered it, then it is up focus. On the other hand, if the mission is to serve the organization itself and those within it is in focus. The fifth one is impersonal. Bureaucratic organizations treat all employees equally. They also treat all customers equally and do not allow individual differences to influence them. The last one is employment. Based on technical qualifications sections. Selection as well as the promotion of employees is based on technical qualification and skills. While these rules have received criticism from many corners, the bureaucratic form of the organization continues to live on. So the last one is one of the famous quotation of Max Weber. The fate of our times is characterized by rationalization and above all by the disenchantment of the world. So that's all for this video. So I hope may natutunan kayo, may na-share ako na knowledge. So bye!